What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy, Big John and G from Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming, and I'm back on your screen. Thank you. Thank you so much for clicking that button and letting me come on your screen and talk to you. So this midday monologue, it's been about a week, maybe a little bit more since I've actually done one. Things have gotten really busy. Got so many games coming in right now for review purposes, and still trying to finish off getting on top of some October Halloween gaming information, which is what brings us here today. So I was planning on doing a great big huge favorite list, best list, so to speak, for Halloween games, and my time just completely got away from me. But what I decided to do is something really quick along the same lines, and that's something, and the reason I did this is because I don't see specifically this talked about a lot. I've seen it a few times, but not as much as the more general overview of best of type games. And that for today, since it is Halloween and we're thinking about horror games, I'm talking about games specifically that are good for kids. I mean, you got kids? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe your friends have kids. Maybe relatives have kids. Maybe at your job there are kids, and you love Halloween. So just bring these two worlds together, so to speak. We got some Halloween games for kids specifically. I guess around ages 10 and up. These games are good for, but remember, you know what your kid can handle, and more importantly, you know what you want your kid to handle. So take this all with a grain of salt. I'm not the end-all, be-all authority on what's good for your kid. Only you are, but I do have 4 games. I got 4 games that I pulled out of my collection to bring with me to work so I could have this discussion with you guys and gals about the games that are good for kids, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, games that I think are good for kids. Now, these games have played with my nieces and nephews. These games have played with friends' kids, and they've all gone over big. So I wanted to talk about them here. And I'll start off with what's popular right now. Zombies. Zombies are a hot ticket. They really are. And you've seen some videos on this before. I've done a few videos on this game because me, Tommy V, and all the 20-Sided Warriors, we absolutely love this game. We love this game. You've heard me talk about it before. This is a game that I go traveling with. I've been all parts of the country with this game. I've been out of the country with this game. And no matter where I bring it, no matter who I sit it down in front of to play, everyone always has a good time with this game. And I'm talking about Zombie Dice by Steve Jackson Games. Now this is the travel kit, which is a little bit sturdier. It's a little bit sturdier than the cardboard container that they have. But Zombie Dice by Steve Jackson Games. So this box, this container, this cylinder comes with tons and tons and tons and tons of dice. Don't look, that one right there, that's an expansion. That's the 3rd expansion. That's the bus. But the 2 expansions fit in here perfectly. They even fit in the non-travel one, the one that's not quite as good sturdy plastic material as this. But basically, this game is really fun. You're playing zombies, and in order to win, you need to collect 13 brains, because as we know, zombies love brains. And the first player to get 13 brains is the zombie winner. You are the king of the zombies. You are the #1 zombie. You are uber zombie. So this is definitely not a cooperative game. This is an all versus all game, and you're always rolling 3 dice. Has a very kind of Yahtzee feel to it, because you're always rolling 3 dice and you're trying to score brains. You don't want to see shotguns, because that means you're going to get shot 3 times. You're out. Your zombie's dead. Your turn is over. Also, people can run away. So you can get brains, you can get shot, or people can run away. There's a couple of other options with the expansion decks, but I'll let you discover those yourself. What else to say about this game? What makes this game fun is if you have the right people playing it. You know, if you're just going to be sitting around the table and just roll die, roll die, roll die, roll die. Okay, I'm going to stop and count down now. You can go. And the next person's the same way. Just roll die, roll die. Oh, I'm cashing out now. That's it. Let's play a go. It's not going to be a lot of fun. What really makes this gun? Did I say gun? It says nothing. It doesn't even look like one. Jeez. What makes this game fun is when you're playing with the right people and they're going to edge each other on. That's what we do. We sit around the table, and if someone is about to just cash in, like, oh, come on, what do you mean? You got to roll again, come on. Especially with the 3rd expansion, we love to yell at everyone to get on the bus. That's what this die is. It's a school bus. Get on the bus, come on, get on the bus. Roll again, come on, one more roll, one more roll, one more roll. that's when the game actually gets kind of fun. And I've played this game where it's lasted 20 minutes maybe, so a lot of bad rolls in right after another, and I've played this game where one turn and it's over. So it's not a very long game. It's a good short game. Kids are going to love it. I mean, you might think this looks a little bit horrific, but this is as bad as it gets. If this drawing right here, this is it. This is as bad as it gets. Everything else is just cute little brain, cute little blast, little shoe prints showing people running away. That's it. So you make the final decision, but this game, definitely good, I think, for kids 10 and up, maybe 12 and up. Depends on how hyperactive you are. My nephew likes to really chuck the dice all over the place. He never gets them on the table. So I'm going to wait before I reintroduce this to him for another year or two. But good game for kids. Good game for kids. Now we got a dice game. What else do I got in my little bag here? Let's find out. Eagle-Gryphon Games. Nosferatu, which is German, I believe, for vampire. Not to be confused with the movie Nosferatu, which is a cheap ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula. His widow actually sued and won. We are very lucky to have copies of that movie around today just because people hid them away and refused to give them up. But Nosferatu. Eagle-Gryphon Games. Now, this is a game that's going to take you probably less than a half hour. And this is a very simple, very easy deduction game. One person is Renfield, and the other players are all hunters, except for one of them. One of them is really the vampire, Dracula in disguise. And through a series of choosing cards and playing cards, eventually you will find out who Dracula is. But be careful, because if you think you know who Dracula is, and you're wrong, the hunters lose. The only way the hunters win this game is if they really know who Nosferatu is, if they know who the vampire is, and they name him, they can stake him, and they win. If they're wrong, they can't win. Only Renfield knows. He promised me the little lives. Master promised me the little lives. Yes, we've had a lot of fun with this game. It's small, very compact, easy to carry around. Can teach anyone this game in a matter of minutes. Actually, there's a playthrough on the Two Gun Pixie page for this game, and it's probably under the playlist for the horror games. But we had a lot of fun with this game, and this game itself is listed as 10 is up, and I definitely agree with that. And this is a good game for kids. This is a great filler game in general. Actually, they both are. And the other two games I'm showing you also just great filler games all around. They don't have to be just for kids. In fact, I haven't even had a kid play this game yet. This is just me, Tommy V, and the 20-Sided Warriors, and we've enjoyed it. We really have. It got a pretty good write-up for us in our written reviews, but I think this is a good game for kids for Halloween or anytime. Ooh, let's see what we have. Another dice game. Oh, another dice game inside my bag. We have another dice game here. Ooh, you hear that? Oh, there's something special about the sound of dice, isn't there? Woo! And they're going all over the place. Now, this is more like the carrier that Zombie Dice originally came in by Steve Jackson Games. It's good. It moves. It gets everything around. I'll pick that die up in a minute. And this game is super, super easy. In fact, even this is used in the game. Yeah, the top is actually used in the game. It's used to keep track of who the first player is. And the reason for that is because everyone's rolling their dice at the same time. You got to keep your dice separate so you know which dice are yours and what they particularly rolled. But everyone rolls at the same time. But the first player is the one that gets to choose how his dice take effect. See, because every one of these dice, they got this little chupacabra. All right, they got a goat. Now remember, chupacabra just means goat sucker. They got 2 chickens. We got a bull, bison, bovine, and we got over here 1 chicken. So the idea is 1 chupacabra can take out 2 chickens, 1 goat, or 2 chupacabra can take out 1 bull. And when you take them out, you get them in your hand. They become part of what you're going to be rolling. And the person who wins this game simply by collecting and getting all of the dice in their hand. And that's Chupacabra. And this is a good party game, especially for kids, but not just for kids too. I mean, this is a good quick filler game. You'll have this game played and done in 10 minutes, at most. I really don't think I've had a game of this last more than 10 minutes. But Chupacabra. Oh, and also, yeah, glows in the dark. We actually recently did a Friday night filler playthrough on this, if you want to go check that out. And finally, before I go look for that other die that went flying, finally, we end off with another card game. Put everything back in here. It's getting a little windy. Putting everything back in here. And there's a lot of different Flux games. There's tons of Flux. You can get Flummox with Flux. Tommy V has the Monty Python Flux. Besides this, I also own the Cthulhu Flux and the Star Flux. And there's all different types. There's the Wizard of Oz Flux. There's Math Flux. There's just regular Flux. But these games are really good. They're very simple to play because all you're ever doing is you're just drawing a card and you're playing a card. Now, how you win the game? That's going to be determined by the cards you play. Because the cards you play can change the goals of this game. And that's why this game is continuously in a state of flux. And this is listed for 8 and up. And I guess that's good. I would say 10 or up myself. But, you know your kid. You know how your kid picks things up. Maybe this won't be too confusing the way rules are constantly changing in this game. Not just the rules to win, but the rules in general. You can play cards that will change the amount of cards that you can play in your hand, the amount of cards that you can draw. Everything about this game is constantly in flux. So that's why it says 8 ages, 8 to adults. I would say 10, but I guess they did a lot more playtesting of this than I did to know that. But yeah, see on the back, just shows an example of some of the type of cards you get. And you get cards that you can definitely want to keep. Like the keeper card over here, you're going to want to keep that chainsaw, that's for sure. But you're not going to want to see these creeper cards. Creeper cards do you no good whatsoever. But this is a fun game. It's listed as 10 to 40 minutes. I don't think the game's ever taken me more than maybe 30, with the exception of the Zombie and Cthulhu Flux that we mixed together a couple of weeks ago for a Friday night filler. It went a lot longer than expected. That's just because we had too many cards from 2 different sets, and it was making it hard to collect the cards we needed, because this is basically a set collection game in order to win the game. That went way too long. So we learned our lesson from that. But that doesn't change the fact that all Flux games are interchangeable. You can mix and match them together. Just going to add on to the time. But another good game. Another good game for kids. So 4 great... Oh, I keep picking this upside down. 4 great games for kids. We got the Chupacabra, in reverse order that I was doing them. We have the Zombie Flux. We have Nosferatu. And one of my favorite games, Zombie Dice by Steve Jackson. So this is Steve Jackson Games. This is Steve Jackson Games. This is Looney Labs. And this is Eagle-Gryphon Games. So if you're looking for games for kids for Halloween, those are 4 great suggestions. And happy Halloween, everyone. I'm your buddy, Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, as you know, I am out of here.